Everybody, Silveroak Outpost episode 17, and we're going to do the Heroic challenge and the Iron challenge today. And I set up all my towers for you guys already. I know it's kind of sad. You'd probably prefer me to go over my upgrades and everything, but they're not even that important. So most of the time I'm actually just going to skip them. So what was I doing? Well, first of all, if you say anything about the Sylvan Elves the entire game, I'm probably going to get mad at you because I don't really like the Sylvan Elves that much. Some people might like them, but they're not my thing. Anyways, what's going on here? So I started off with a bunch of actually high upgraded towers, which I don't normally do. Normally I like to get everything set up for a late game, but because these waves come so hard and so fast, I know guys, don't even say it, but if they come that hard and that fast, you really gotta have some really high-powered towers, and I felt like the Ranger towers were one of the best ways to go. And then what I did was I started getting some more Mage towers in the front. So my basic setup is just 2 Ranger towers, one sort of near the back to catch everything, and one to kill all the giant spiders that might come out. And that Ranger tower is meant to kill all the giant spiders, the spider matriarchs, while the artillery is actually meant to kill everything, medium spiders and baby spiders, all the medium and baby spiders. Even though they're called giant spiders, I still think they're medium spiders because there's a gianter spider. So what's going on here? Well, there's a lot of these guys who seem to be getting through, so we're going to have to build at least one more tower here. Now, we're cutting it really close here, guys, because these challenges are obviously pretty darn hard. I mean, they're not impossible by any means. They're not, like, ridiculously hard where they're going to take you 5,000 tries to beat, but sometimes they can take you a few tries to beat, and sometimes they're a little bit on the difficult side. So the one thing I do is I make sure I use my Rain of Fire on the strong guys. So I try to use them on the guys that it'll take like 5,000 arrows to frickin' kill them. Now obviously these guys that are coming from the bottom are mostly weak versus magic, so you want to build mostly magic towers. And the guys coming from the right are mostly strong versus magic, so you want to go mostly archer towers. As far as barracks go, you can probably build at least one barracks just to help hold off some of the giant spiders and stuff like that. If you keep them busy, you can usually take them out just a little bit on the easier side. But don't go like crazy, ridiculous amount of barracks, because there's so many guys that'll just run right through, so many spiders, they'll just start running right through all of your guys, and they won't be able to kill them in time, and it's just kind of a waste of money to go with that many barracks upgrades. So I do recommend going mostly archers, and if you want to get your artillery upgrade at least once, that's probably a little bit on the better side. So we're already on wave 6 here, guys. So I sent out a lot of waves really fast here. I felt like getting the extra gold and helping me out for the later rounds like 5 and 6 here. So now we're cutting it even closer, guys. These little baby spiders are trying to run right through my defense, and luckily I was able to kill them with some of my reinforcements and stall them with my reinforcements. Now if you notice, there's lots and lots of guys coming all at once. Oh my goodness. I'd really like a Rain of Fire right now, but I think we're going to have to deal without it. So just keep upgrading your magic towers. Your magic towers are very strong. Even versus these brigands, I know there's a lot of them, but if you get enough magic towers, you can actually kill them. One thing I do have to say though, guys, is you might have to replay this one a couple times to understand how much magic to go and how many archer towers to go. It can get a little bit on the difficult side. So now here is the hardest part of the entire game, guys. At least in my opinion, the entire hard part of this Heroic challenge is beating these guys right here. You might not think they're that difficult, but when you got that many of them all coming at once, they're actually really hard to kill. And you can barrack stall them. That's one thing that I've figured out about these guys throughout my playing, is you can use a barracks and stall them, and it's actually fairly easy to stall them. So you might want to think about doing that, maybe selling one of your towers and getting a barracks here, maybe even upgrading your barracks pretty far, and you can stall them actually for a very long time. I think that's maybe one of the mistakes I did on this, so that's just another recommendation that I think that I should make to you guys, is just stall them a little bit better. If you notice, my reinforcements are actually stalling them fairly well, and my reinforcements are obviously still really weak. Reinforcements are not upgraded like 5 times or anything like that. I can only get, I think, 2 or 3 full upgrades for that. So we did beat the Heroic challenge, and now we are on to the Iron challenge, which the Iron challenge is just the, it's not the same thing. It's 1 super wave, 1 life, just like normal. You get a couple archer towers to start, and I believe you cannot use any barracks. So in the first place, I don't even use that many barracks, so that's not that big of a deal to me. But it still can be pretty difficult because there's quite a few guys coming out and you can't stall them at all except with your crappy reinforcements. So stalling guys is a little bit, you gotta figure out how you're gonna do that. There is ways to do that, but I feel like just going with mass amounts of good towers and good positioning is probably the best way to go. Just think about how people are going to come and how you're going to kill them. So mostly guys that are weak versus magic, of course, are coming from the left side, and then giant freaking spiders coming from the right. always giant freaking spiders, which suck. Now, as far as the Sylvan Elves, should you go with the Sylvan Elves? No. Maybe. With your playing style, if the Sylvan Elves work out, go ahead and make them. But with my playing style, they don't work out so well, so I don't recommend doing that. Now, as far as Rain of Fire goes, yeah, you probably want to start using them on the guys in the middle of the giant waves coming out. You don't want to save your Rain of Fire until the very, very end, usually the very end of the map. Let your towers do the damage, don't let the Rain of Fire do the damage. You want to just spread out all the guys to make all your towers be able to do as much damage as they possibly can. That's basically the plan. So as many towers as you can have shoot at the same time. You want guys to actually get close to the end of the map and just have your archer towers just keep shooting them. And the real problem is not knowing when to use the Rain of Fire on these types of levels. You want to start using it as soon as possible, but you also don't want to use it on the very, very first guys, okay guys? That sounded weird. Okay guys? Yeah, whatever. So anyways, I think you should start upgrading your magic towers pretty high. I think your magic towers are extremely important for this one. Of course, I went with the 2 ranger towers, basically the exact same positioning as I did for the other previous challenge. It seems like they just work out really well this way. I went with a pretty high upgraded bombard tower. He's not ridiculously high. I think he's 2 upgrades. So 2 upgrades is actually enough to kill most of these spiders, and when the spider matriarchs come, you can actually start killing them pretty easily. As far as this magic tower up there, I don't think it's that important, but I still did get it. And even more ranger towers. Now, should you upgrade your ranger towers to anything even higher? Like, you can probably get more upgrades on your ranger towers, like Wrath of the Forest and all that. And I don't think it's really that important. I think go for mostly damage. Mostly damage. I mean, it's like $600 to get some Wrath of the Forest upgrades, and yeah, they do help, but you're probably better off just getting some Arcane Wizards or just really high upgraded magic towers. And these guys, like I said last game, they're very, very good at tanking damage, but you can stall them very easily. So you probably want to stall them as much as possible with your reinforcements, and if you need to, use the Sylvan Elves. Like I said, you don't really need the Sylvan Elves, but they help out quite a bit versus guys like this. Now the problem is that they're pretty expensive, and they die. When they die, they're gone, so it's like, I don't know. I don't know if you should continue using them the entire time. Maybe late game, maybe that's the most important part to use, but not early game. I don't think early game is very good for them at all. So as you can see, we're pretty much winning this one. These guys are the last guys left, and we're stalling them quite easily, and we will win this game. I actually sold that tower to upgrade to a mage tower, and as long as we kill this guy, we'll be totally fine. So again, using reinforcements just to stall for those last few seconds, and I upgrade my wizard tower. And we barely kill him, which is kind of awesome and cool at the same time. But that's all I got for this episode, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching these 2 challenges get beat in a row. As always, appreciate likes. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.